Have you ever noticed how the harder you chase something, the more elusive it becomes? It's a paradox that defies everything we're taught about hard work and perseverance. But what if the secret to unlocking your deepest desires wasn't about pushing harder, but about letting go? I know it sounds counterintuitive, even a little frightening. After all, holding on tightly feels safe. It's born from the fear of missing out, of losing something precious. But what if that very act of holding on is what's keeping you from getting what you truly want? Clinging to your goals creates a mental and emotional trap. It leaves you in a state of constant tension and disappointment. It's a tough pill to swallow, but this truth could be the breakthrough you've been searching for. In this journey, we'll uncover why letting go isn't just a peaceful alternative. It's the hidden key to unlocking your deepest desires. Topic 1. Chasing desires and detachment. Have you ever felt like the harder you chase something, the more it seems to slip through your fingers? It's like trying to catch a butterfly. When you run after it, it flutters away. But when you sit quietly, it may just land on your shoulder. This relentless pursuit of desires can leave you feeling exhausted and defeated. But what if the key wasn't in chasing, but in letting go? Detachment, contrary to what many believe, isn't about giving up. It's about releasing the tight grip on what you want, allowing life the space to bring it to you in its own time. Picture a time when you stopped obsessing over something, and almost like magic, it came to you. That's the power of detachment. When you free yourself from the chase, you open yourself to receiving. Consider someone who's desperately seeking validation in their career. They're so fixated on earning that next promotion, on getting that next accolade, that they lose sight of the present moment. Their every action is driven by an anxious need for external acknowledgement, leaving them emotionally drained and creatively stifled. But what if they approach their goals differently? Detachment doesn't mean they should abandon their ambitions. Instead, it means they should pursue them with joy and curiosity, free from the emotional turmoil of fear and doubt. When they shift from attachment to a mindset of freedom, they begin to engage with their work not as a means to an end, but as a fulfilling journey in itself. This isn't just a strategy for reducing suffering. It's a path to reclaiming passion and creativity in their endeavors. As the Bhagavad Gita teaches, true detachment is about engaging in action without being obsessed with the outcome. Imagine a gardener who plants a seed and nurtures it with care, but doesn't keep digging it up to see if it's growing. By letting go of the need for immediate results, they allow the plant to flourish in its own time. This mindset not only eases anxiety, but also brings you closer to your authentic self, enabling you to act with creative freedom rather than fear of failure. And as you release the emotional grip on your desires, you begin to understand a deeper truth. Clinging too tightly often leads to unexpected suffering. This opens up the next chapter in our journey, exploring how holding on can become a source of our greatest struggles. Topic 2. Ram Dass's Monkey Story. Ram Dass once shared a story about how monkeys are trapped in the wild. A hollow coconut is filled with rice and secured to a tree. The monkey reaches in, grabs the rice, but can't pull its hand back out because it refuses to let go. It's trapped not by the coconut, but by its own attachment. This story mirrors our own lives. How often do we hold on tightly to things that ultimately trap us? The rice might symbolize our desires, fears, or even our need for validation. By clinging so fiercely, we often end up imprisoning ourselves in situations that only bring suffering. Imagine you're holding on to a grudge or an unmet expectation. It's easy to become like that monkey, stuck in a loop of resentment or longing, unable to move forward. The solution isn't to break the coconut, it's to let go of the rice. In other words, freedom comes not from fighting the circumstances, but from releasing your attachment to them. Ram Dass's story teaches us that our emotional traps are often of our own making. When you let go of what you're holding on to, whether it's a past hurt, a fear, or even a goal that's no longer serving you, you free yourself to move forward with clarity and peace. This story also highlights a deeper truth about our mindset. Our attachments often mask our true needs. The monkey clings to the rice out of hunger, just as we cling to desires out of a deeper emotional need. But in holding on, we lose sight of the bigger picture. The real nourishment comes from letting go and finding a new path forward, free from the traps we set for ourselves. This brings us to the timeless wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, where we learn that detachment doesn't mean disengagement. It means participating fully in life without being consumed by it. Topic 3. The Bhagavad Gita's teachings. The Bhagavad Gita, a timeless spiritual guide, speaks to the essence of detachment in a way that resonates deeply with those seeking balance in life. It teaches us that true detachment doesn't mean withdrawing from the world, but rather engaging fully without being shackled by the outcome. Imagine a warrior going into battle. He fights with all his might, but his focus isn't on victory or defeat. Instead, his mindset is on the act of fighting itself, doing his duty without being swayed by success or failure. This is the essence of detachment, being in the moment, committed to the action, but free from the emotional turbulence that often accompanies it. Think about a time when you were so invested in the result of something that you lost sight of the joy in doing it. Maybe it was a project at work or a personal goal where the fear of failure loomed large. The Bhagavad Gita reminds us that this kind of attachment can lead to suffering. When you're too focused on the end game, you lose the opportunity to grow and learn along the way. The teachings encourage us to shift our mindset from the desire for a particular outcome to the fulfillment found in the act of doing. By embracing this approach, you can reduce the emotional roller coaster and find peace in the process itself. The Gita's wisdom is a call to action, creative action without the need for validation. It tells us that our role is to perform our duties with sincerity and passion, but to remain detached from the fruits of our labor. This doesn't mean you should be indifferent. Rather, it's about finding joy in the effort itself. When you engage with your passions and responsibilities this way, you free yourself from the chains of desire and fear. The Bhagavad Gita's teachings pave the way for deeper self-inquiry, leading us to acknowledge the attachments that hold us back and to explore why we cling so tightly to them. Topic 4. Acknowledging attachments. The first step on the path to true detachment is acknowledging what we're holding on to. Often, we don't even realize how deeply attached we are to certain aspects of our lives, whether it's relationships, material possessions, or even our own goals and aspirations. It's like carrying around a heavy backpack without noticing the weight until someone points it out. The moment we become aware of our attachments, we can start the process of letting go. This acknowledgement is crucial because it's the foundation for growth and transformation. Without it, we're like ships adrift at sea, unaware of the anchor that's keeping us from moving forward. Consider a relationship that's no longer serving you, yet you remain in it out of fear or habit. It's easy to get stuck in the comfort of the familiar, even when it's causing you emotional turbulence. By taking a step back and recognizing your attachment, you open the door to self-inquiry. Ask yourself, why am I holding on to this? What need is it fulfilling? Or what fear is it masking? This type of reflection can be challenging, but it's a necessary part of the journey. Once you identify these attachments, you can begin to reframe them, seeing them not as sources of security, but as barriers to your freedom. Acknowledging your attachments is an act of courage. It's about facing the truth of what's holding you back without judgment or fear. This process doesn't mean you have to immediately let go of everything, but it does mean being honest with yourself about what's serving your growth and what's not. As you start to unravel these connections, you'll find that detachment becomes easier, and you'll be more equipped to process these attachments in a way that promotes your well-being. This brings us naturally to the next step, diving deeper into self-inquiry to understand the roots of our attachments and how they shape our desires. Topic 5. Self-inquiry. Self-inquiry is the heart of understanding why we cling to certain desires. It's about peeling back the layers of our consciousness to discover the deeper motivations that drive our attachments. Often, these desires are tied to unmet needs from our past, perhaps a longing for validation we never received, or a fear of rejection rooted in earlier experiences. By engaging in self-inquiry, you can start to see the patterns that have shaped your life, revealing why certain things hold such power over you. This isn't just an intellectual exercise, it's an emotional exploration that can lead to profound insights and ultimately, greater freedom. Imagine taking a quiet moment to reflect on a desire that consumes you. Maybe it's the need for recognition at work, or a deep-seated wish for a perfect relationship. As you delve into this, ask yourself, what am I really seeking here? Is it validation, security, love, or something else? By tracing these desires back to their roots, you can begin to untangle the web of emotions and experiences that have led to your current state. This process of self-inquiry is like shining a light into the dark corners of your mind, bringing clarity and understanding to the shadows that have long influenced your decisions and desires. The power of self-inquiry lies in its ability to transform your mindset. When you understand the deeper reasons behind your attachments, you can start to reframe your desires in a way that promotes growth rather than suffering. This doesn't mean abandoning your goals, but approaching them with a new perspective, one that's rooted in self-awareness and detachment. As you continue this journey of exploration, you'll find that many of the things you once held on to lose their emotional grip, allowing you to act from a place of creativity and freedom. This leads us to the next crucial step, processing these attachments in a way that fosters personal growth. Topic 6. Processing attachments. Processing attachments is where the real work begins. It's about taking what you've uncovered through self-inquiry and reframing it in a way that promotes growth rather than holding you back. This process isn't about erasing your desires or pretending they don't exist. It's about transforming your relationship with them. Imagine each attachment as a lesson, an opportunity for growth, rather than a source of suffering. When you shift your mindset in this way, you turn every experience, whether it ends in success or failure, into a stepping stone on your path to personal development. Let's say you've identified a strong attachment to a specific career goal. Maybe you've been working tirelessly towards a promotion, but despite your efforts, it hasn't materialized. Instead of seeing this as a failure, you can reframe the experience as a valuable lesson. What have you learned along the way? How has this journey shaped your skills, mindset, and resilience? By processing the attachment in this way, you move from a place of disappointment to one of empowerment. This shift not only reduces emotional turbulence, but also fosters a growth-oriented perspective that will serve you in future endeavors. Processing attachments is an ongoing practice. It requires patience and a willingness to be kind to yourself as you navigate your emotions and experiences. It's not about detaching yourself from your desires completely, but about learning to engage with them in a healthier, more balanced way. Each time you process an attachment, you're building the mental and emotional muscles needed to approach life's challenges with greater ease and creativity. And as you continue this practice, you'll find that your actions become more aligned with your true self, leading you to the next step, embracing creative action with a newfound sense of freedom and joy. Topic 7. Creative action. Creative action is the natural outcome of detachment. It's about engaging with your passions and goals in a way that is both joyful and free from the need for external validation. When you're no longer bound by the weight of expectation, you can immerse yourself fully in the creative process, whether that's in your work, your hobbies, or your relationships. Imagine painting a picture not for the praise it might receive, but simply for the love of the colors and the process. This is what creative action looks like when you've embraced detachment. It's pure, it's fulfilling, and it's driven by the intrinsic joy of creation. Consider someone who loves to write, but has always been paralyzed by the fear of how their work will be received. They've spent years thinking about the opinions of others, and this has kept them from fully exploring their creative potential. When they finally let go of the need for validation, something shifts. They start writing not for an audience, but for themselves, for the sheer pleasure of putting words on a page. This shift doesn't just enhance their creativity, it opens up a whole new level of freedom. Their work becomes more authentic, more daring, and ironically, often more appreciated because it's infused with genuine passion. Creative action, when embraced with detachment, allows you to pursue your desires without the emotional turbulence that comes from needing specific outcomes. It's about finding joy in the act itself, whether you're writing, cooking, building, or dreaming. This doesn't mean you shouldn't have goals. It means you approach those goals with a sense of playfulness and curiosity, free from the pressure of needing them to turn out a certain way. And as you begin to live in this creative flow, you'll discover a deeper sense of freedom, the kind that comes from knowing that your happiness isn't tied to any particular outcome, but is found in the very act of creation itself. This leads us naturally to the ultimate destination, embracing true freedom in your life. Topic 8. Embracing freedom. True freedom is the gift that comes when you've learned to let go, when the emotional grip of your desires no longer dictates your well-being. This kind of freedom isn't about abandoning your passions or dreams. It's about pursuing them with a light heart, unburdened by the need for specific outcomes. Imagine waking up each day knowing that you can act with full passion and commitment, yet remain at peace whether things go your way or not. This is the essence of detachment, as taught in spiritual traditions like the Bhagavad Gita and echoed in the wisdom of Ram Dass. It's a mindset that allows you to live fully, creatively, and joyfully without being chained by fear or desire. Think of someone who's spent years climbing the corporate ladder, driven by the need to prove themselves. They've experienced the highs and lows of success and failure, each outcome deeply affecting their sense of self-worth. But one day, they realize that their worth isn't tied to their achievements. It's inherent, independent of external validation. This realization brings a profound sense of freedom. They continue to strive, But now, their efforts are fueled by passion rather than anxiety. They've embraced the freedom that comes from detachment, acting with purpose, but without the emotional turbulence that once held them captive. Embracing freedom through detachment is not about disengagement. It's about engaging with life in the most vibrant and meaningful way possible. It's about being fully present, fully alive, and fully involved, without being weighed down by the need for specific results. This kind of freedom transforms your actions into expressions of your true self, making each step on your path one of joy and fulfillment. As you internalize this mindset, you'll find that life becomes less about what you achieve and more about how you experience the journey. And now, with this understanding, the loop closes, bringing you full circle in your exploration of detachment, creative action, and the profound freedom that lies at the heart of it all. Now that you've explored the powerful concept of letting go, the question is, are you ready to apply it to your life? It's not easy to release the tight grip on your desires, especially when you've been taught that holding on is the only way to achieve success. What could you accomplish if you weren't shackled by the need for specific outcomes? If you're ready to continue learning and growing in this journey of self-discovery, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. There's so much more to explore together, and I can't wait to dive into the next chapter with you.